Hi, everyone. Welcome to our town hall discussion. Today, we're here to talk about numbers, projects, but also really to celebrate who we are, what we stand for, and where we're going. But before we dive in, we're going to take a moment together to recite our core values, our vision, mission, and purpose statements. These aren't just words on a wall, they guide us in everything we do, every decision we make, and how we show up for each other and our customers. Our vision is to be the premier provider of high quality collection, recycling, zero landfill, and alternative fuel solutions. Our mission is to keep our communities clean, recycle everything we possibly can, and transform waste into clean burning alternative fuels. And our purpose is to prioritize our people, supercharge sustainability, be incredibly reliable, and maximize our value creation. Sheldon, would you mind reciting our core values for us?
Sure, thanks, Sarah. Our core values stand for Surge. S is we always keep each other safe. Unwavering, we keep our promises and act ethically. Respect, we treat one another and our planet with kindness. Growth, we embrace continuous learning and development. And excellence, we expect outstanding performance in all we do.
Thanks, Sheldon. It's a reminder that no matter what our role, we're always working toward a common purpose. Now that we've grounded ourselves in our core values and our VMPs, let's talk about how those values connect to our strategy, our people, and the future of LJP. Mike, we're going to directly start with you. So let's kind of start big. How do you see our core values and VMPs shape the vision for LJP over the next couple of years?
Well, I see them as everything. I mean, the VMP is really directionally where we're going with the company. Our vision sets out where we expect ourselves to be down the future. Our mission is what we're all about, why we come to work every day. And then our purpose is just what grounds us in pretty much everything that we do. And so super important. And then core values make it easy to be a high performing company because we take our 5 core values and we run essentially all of our decision making through those. And if we run all of our decision making through that, it'll help us be very clear about what we are going to do and what we aren't going to do, what we are going to accept and what we aren't going to accept. And if we get it right, and we probably don't get it right every time, Sarah, but if we get it right most of the time, it's going to take care of us living our VMP. So the core values down here, everything runs through those. We do that right, everything up top works.
Absolutely. I'm sure some of you are curious about our continued growth at LJP. Some of you might have thought, will LJP continue to look for opportunities to grow in the waste industry, or where do you see our future at LJP going? Would you mind commenting on that, Mike?
I'd love to comment on that. Yeah. So we are, our vision is to be the premier provider, right? Of all of those things, collection, zero landfill, alternative fuel. So all of them are important to us. And we plan to continue to grow in as much of the waste industry as we can. Now, our ultimate bottom line focus is trying to be as much of a leader in the zero landfill space as we can be. And we're doing that in all parts of our company right now. I mean, we are doing, even where we're landfilling in Iowa, for example, we're recycling as much as we possibly can. And, there are certain parts of our company, Iowa being a good example, where we have to take waste to the local landfill. It's like flow controlled. So there's nothing we can do there, but we are looking for as many opportunities as we can to further our zero landfill goals, Sarah. So whether that's alternative fuel, whether that's some new recycling technology or niche that we're not in now, or whether it's just maximizing traditional single sort recycling like we are into now everywhere. That's really our focus. How do we keep materials out of the landfill? How do we give value to something that we would otherwise waste? And how do we become like a real integral part of the circular economy solutions for as many of the things our clients and customers have as we can?
That insight's super helpful. Sheldon, touching base with you, operationally, what milestones do we need to hit in order to make those visions a reality?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. So just like our core values, everything we do starts with safety. I think our ultimate objective is to reach zero incidents, but I think realistically, we're looking to achieve continuous improvement along the way. And we do that by setting reasonable goals and tracking our progress. And beyond that, there's a lot of effort put into things such as training, inspections. We do facility inspections on a regular basis, incident investigation to try and help avoid us from repetitive type situations from happening. So we know everything we focus on always gets better, and that's really, I think, one of the ideas that we've really ran with. The other thing I'd like to mention is that trust and respect are truly non-negotiable LJP values. We take both those very seriously. We're committed to maintain a workplace where everyone feels welcome and valued team members. So I think that's really where it starts.
And Kent, from your perspective, in the refuel and zero landfill line of business, how do our operations and partnerships also align with this vision and our ultimate long-term goals?
Thanks, Sarah. I am truly so excited to be in the spot we are in terms of where we're at in the capabilities we have with what we can recycle. Today, we produce probably 40,000 tons roughly of refuse-derived fuel, another 25,000 tons of what we call our refuel. In addition, refuel is made from pre-consumer, non-hazardous secondary material, and this waste stream would most certainly otherwise be landfilled. We use this in cement kilns, and it's core to our mission that we recycle everything we possibly can and transform waste into clean burning alternative fuels. LJP's ability to do this is ever expanding. An additional benefit of refuel is that virtually all of this material is manufactured without ash. And that's a step above if you think about our traditional RDF waste stream. That's exciting. And as far as growth and our vision, we're continuing to grow our zero landfill business. We strive to achieve the most responsible method we can to manage our waste. And we provide these solutions to our customers, and they perceive real value to that. In our coming months, we're going to be expanding our services to include liquid, food, off-spec consumer products, recycle the packaging, recover the liquid, either recycle it through anaerobic digestion, transform the packaging into the fuel, or in the last resort, landfill some of the packaging if we simply can't do that. This is an increasing demand from our customers, and it really ties into everything that LJP is about.
Thanks, Kent. Really appreciate that in-depth explanation. Super helpful for all to hear. Andy, your turn. How do our products and solutions reflect our VMP and core values? And how do we know whether or not we're meeting our customer needs?
I think about our systems and solutions that we're working on is really going straight to the core value of growth. Our systems have been on a continuous trajectory of embracing continuous learning and development. A quick place where we were at just less than 2 years ago, between Gendro, Trashman, Vans, Buckingham, LJP, every one of these platforms and companies was operating on a separate accounting system and separate billing system without really any connectivity for us to talk back and forth. And over the past couple of years, we've built all of these under one house. So they're now all under the same accounting and operational software. So our teams can now communicate internally between each other. And they're speaking the same language with SoftPak, especially on the hauling side, which is such a benefit for our managers to work together. And then over this past year, we've expanded that further where we've rebuilt out our weekly action reports. We have our Mondays operational boards. And what's so cool about those is they sit in the cloud. So our teams across all of our geographies can see the same information at the same time and can learn and get better from each other as they're working together. We're building more. We've done things with RAMP. We're now using artificial intelligence to do a lot of the preliminary coding and pulling the information together to make things more efficient and accurate for our accounting teams. Our payment and acceptance processes with the trash flow, we're creating easier ways and new ways for our customers to interact with us. We've been on this continuous flow of setting the table, and where really our next step that we're going to be going with all of this is using artificial intelligence and AI agents to really start pulling all of this information together so that as we look forward, we'll be more efficient, we'll be better with our processes, we'll have better data analysis, and we'll really be able to see issues faster through quicker information and see opportunities faster that will help everybody involved with the company become more efficient and just be more informed and help us respond to our communities and our stakeholders faster.
Awesome. On the people side of things, obviously our vision, mission, and purpose, as well as our values, really spell out what's important to our culture at LJP and Companies. It helps provide a tangible standard that people want to be a part of. If you look at our values, each one is super important in how we carry out our vision, mission, and purpose. And this comes from a top-down approach and a bottom-up approach. These guiding principles are truly attractive to existing employees, and we often utilize them as ways to get prospective employees through the door. And this really reflects that we are always trying to do the right thing in the right way. Anytime that ever gets cloudy for a team member needing to make the best decision possible, we just turn to our core values and our VMPs, and that's truly a guiding purpose for us. These principles and values, they provide clarity on how we go about our jobs and also contribute to overall job satisfaction. In terms of things related to culture, I mean, all of this buttons back up to the way in which we do things here for our team members at LJP. This past year, we implemented a culture committee club that's trying to expand and get our team members to participate in events throughout the office, but also to help engage within our community. And that's really, again, ties back to our core values of how we see LJP and Companies in the future as we continue to work with new clients, new customers, etc. within the field. So as part of this general town hall discussion, we did have some follow-up questions that came in from specific team members at specific departments. So I thought we'd get an opportunity to just go through a couple of those to let you know that, hey, we are here, we're hearing you, here's feedback to show you that we do care in that reference, and we want our team members to be at the forefront of all information. So Mike, if you wouldn't mind reviewing, I know you talked about our future with LJP, but where do you see us in 5 years in terms of with our investor group?
Well, I don't know exactly where we'll be in 5 years in terms of our investor group. What I do know is that the things that everyone has talked about on this call that we've been working on are all about creating more capability and more value in the business. And that's our job. It doesn't matter who owns the company, who the investors are. What matters is that we're doing everything we can to treat everybody fairly, make decisions through a network of core values that matter to all of us, and ultimately make the business more valuable over time. That's why we're here. That's why businesses exist, to serve customers and to create value for them that translates into the company creating value for itself. So what I can say to you, I don't know where it's going to be in terms of the investors, but our theme for this year is activating our full potential. We'll probably be coming out with something later that sort of takes people through what the results of some of that activation have been. But ultimately, we'll continue to be a much more capable, much more full potential company as we go through every day, month, and year coming up. And so my hope is that in 5 years, you won't be able to recognize where LJP was at this time in late 2025. The foundation will be the same. The The value creation system will be the same, the VMP will be the same, but the opportunities and where we are in the world doing what we do, I'm hoping we'll be like, never thought we'd be doing that, but look where we're leading now.
Thanks, appreciate it. Sheldon, a couple questions for you. Most of them generally relate to the growing intentions of the solid waste business, but also as they relate to factors such as keeping our equipment up to date. So first and foremost, what are LJP's intentions in continuing to grow the solid waste business?
So Sarah, we've put a lot of effort and resources into number one, the training that we're giving our employees, but also the equipment that we provide them. And I think most drivers would agree that the equipment that they work with every day is their office and the tools that they have. And our fleet has taken a huge stride for the better the last couple of years. And we continue to invest in newer equipment as we go. So I think that's the biggest key, is continue to invest in ourselves, and we'll continue to do that along the way.
Thanks. Kent, question for you. In terms of LJP and company's involvement toward our local communities, can you identify the ways in which we are interested in providing sponsorships to local schools and or athletics?
Sure, I can. Thank you for the question, Sarah. Typically, we want to support causes that reflect our company's mission and values, right? For example, we would prefer to support an environmental organization or an organization that can, serve in the communities that we serve versus sponsoring a race car. So that being said, if an employee had a particular charitable cause that they were deeply involved with, we would try to support those causes when we can as well. But I think our lane is more environmental than just sponsoring for the sake of getting our name out there with a baseball team or with a race car, something like that.
Understood. That's super helpful. So when and if individuals do have requests for those sponsorships, make sure you're coordinating with your site managers or getting upper leadership involved as well. Kent, a couple more questions as it relates to, continuous growth within Minnesota and Iowa. Would you mind expanding on your thoughts of where we continue to grow within our company?
Sure. And specifically related to Minnesota and Iowa, it's in our core values, right? We're going to maximize value creation. So if there is growth that makes sense with us, we're going to take the opportunity to grow. And we're going to grow both through acquisition as well as new business. For example, in the last year and a half, the acquisition of Vans, the acquisition of American in Webster City, the acquisition of Minnesota Environmental in Minnesota. Those are the types of acquisitions that fit so well into what we already do. To use a golf analogy, they're right down the center of the fairway. They're not off in the left rough or the right rough. They're core to what we do, and we're going to continue to look for those and acquire those companies when we can, in addition to our regular new business growth.
It sounds like as it relates to our Iowa sites as well, there's an opportunity for continued waste to energy or recycling. How can we connect those, or what are we currently doing amongst LJP and its companies to really utilize our waste to energy plans?
So I can take a shot at that. Maybe Mike or Andy want to jump in as well, but we continue to look for ways to support our sites already. For example, we have customers that might be in the Vans service area that we have traditionally serviced out of North Mankato because they want their material processed. We are hauling that intercompany between sites, right? We're making that happen. Another good example is all of our recycling out of Trashman in Webster City is sent to Vans because they have recycling capabilities. So we continue to look for ways to support all aspects of our business, regardless of the geographic area, and we'll continue to do that.
I think that's a great point, Kent, I would add just a few other to that as well. We also take all of the recycling from Charles City over to Vans. And as we've expanded down into the Vans location as well, LJP has a fair amount of waste to energy customers down in that area as well, that we've been able to take our recycling to Vans instead of bringing all of that all the way up to Minnesota. And we've also been able to split some hauling opportunities between that location and North Mankato. And I really think about our locations, and I think it's really great for all of our team members to think about our locations as we are one company overall. We have some different names because that's how our customers see us, and we want to honor the traditional names and that have come to this business. But internally, we're one team, and we're constantly looking for ways to be utilizing each other the best we can. And if our team members have opportunities and ideas that they see, those, like Sheldon was talking about with your site managers, those are great opportunities to talk to our site managers, because we really want to be as connected as we can be.
Absolutely. Touching on sustainability, I know this past year we provided a sustainability report on the 2024 year. How does LJP and companies continue to show this sustainable support beyond leadership at the specific site levels?
I'll jump in there and just point out that, yeah, we do a sustainability report and it does outline what we've accomplished, but we always can fall back on our mission, value, purpose, right? What are we about and what do we want to do? And that is recycle everything we can and transform waste into clean burning alternative fuels. So every opportunity we have, we're going to take that step when we possibly can. We can't do it all the time, but when we can, we're certainly going to take advantage of that and make sure that sustainability is right at the top of our hierarchy in terms of how we work with our communities and how we manage our waste.
And I think with that as well, as we roll that sustainability report back out for this year, we'll see a big step forward in our transformation of materials to alternative fuels as we've expanded outlets and continuously improved our processes.
Just a few more questions and comments. One question that came forth was in regards to marijuana positive tests as they relate during the pre-employment screening stage. I'm tackling the answer on this one. There are some different legal requirements per each state that we do need to follow. So at this time, Minnesota employees, if they come back with a positive marijuana test, we do have to move forward with employment. Whereas in Iowa, those positive tests can result in a rescindment of offer. So at this time, we will continue to follow those rules and regulations set forth by each state as they are applied and applicable. In general, we'll be conducting these town hall discussions more frequently. You can expect to see them come out on a quarterly basis, where we'll allow you to have a chance to continue to meet with leadership team members, speak face to face, and answer questions that come forth during and throughout the year. We truly appreciate everybody's time and diligence in participating at LJP and Companies. We're grateful for all of our team members and everything that everyone does. Ultimately, our goals going into 2026, we're focusing on, again, our safety performances, our growth of our refuel and LJP 360, growth of our solid waste business, managing and improving our turnover counts, and also extending our MWPC processing contract. So there are a lot of different things that we have set for objectives for 2026, and we'll continuously keep you as team members of LJP and Companies updated as information follows and flows through. Thank you to everybody for participating. Mike, Sheldon, Kent, Andy, it's a pleasure to get this information out to all of our team members for continuous learning and development, really recognizing one of our core values there.
Thanks for the
Thank you,
opportunity,
Sarah.
Thanks, everyone.